Whoa. So, just a sec. The thing is, now I'm gonna talk about my vlogging journey and how I constantly observe the statistics, and according to the numbers I adapt. And the things that I'm always talking about: always scrutinize your own behavior, evaluate at the end of the day your conversations. But this is only for people who want to optimize their living, the quality of living, no matter where you live. You can have better conversation even if you're homeless. Anyway, been there, done that, so I can speak like this. The thing is, now when it's about my vlogging journey, I'm going to replace the vlogging with landscape live streaming like this, and the portrait live streaming is simply for getting more attention, and I will start adding very short courses so you can actually start doing what I'm doing. Of course, you have to start from the beginning, and I know exactly how to do it because I did this multiple times. I had offline businesses and all that normal people bullshit. It's also good, sounds great. You can say you wear a suit and you lick ass to make a couple of bucks. You don't want this. So I am gonna share my strategies for free. The only thing that my real intent is simply providing value for the people who are actually doing something with their lives. That means not only caring about themselves, chasing a monthly salary, etc., so they can go on a holiday. That is all fun, but I prefer freedom, provide freedom. And the reason that I'm speaking the way I do sounds maybe disrespectful to a lot of people because they easily step on their toes. So be it. That's how I separate the doers from the not doers, and that's how I simply also separate the people who are too soft-hearted to live a life. So let that be very clear, and that also minimizes the amount of people who are actually willing to watch my content, because yeah, nobody likes to listen to reality, right? Who likes reality? If you talk with a person who says that they like reality and they're playing constantly with their phone and all kind of other normal people bullshit, they don't like reality. If they don't put in the daily disciplines, they don't like reality because they want to die as soon as possible. Why would you like to die as soon as possible? I don't know. I also don't care. But I speak to those who actually want to provide value, to serve perhaps the country. How do I serve Bulgaria? I am giving small businesses a lot of extra views. You know what the problem is over here in Bulgaria, and also in a lot of other countries that I know about, because I'm operating in multiple countries, but over here in Bulgaria there are a lot of traditional thinkers. So if you are from Bulgaria and you are a self-employed, or you're already operating a self-employed business model, then I'm begging you, start thinking outside the box so you can burn down the place and actually start running a life and on the side a business. Because a lot of traditional thinkers, they come up with discount offers of 10%. Then I would say, if you are that creative with coming up with 10% discount things, then I would highly recommend that you get a job so you have less stress, and you can keep on playing with your phone. Because from a lot of business owners I know, they play with their phones, and people that they hire, they also play with the phone. So I don't even understand why would you actually run into the risk of losing. I don't know, maybe some people are made for this. So anyway, very quickly about my vlogging structure, because I'm scrutinizing everything constantly based upon numbers. That is the same with sales that are made outside this country. And you know, I am sharing my strategies that are actually executable by a 12-year-old. The only thing that is required that you actually put in the work. And I know the majority of people prefers watch strategies so they can get excited and put in for 24. No, that is too much. For 24 minutes. I was supposed to say 24 hours, but 24 minutes. Then pay attention to it, and then they fail, and then they give up, and then they cry and go back to mommy and daddy, because mommy and daddy feeds them. Comfort, the comfort thing is of course the biggest enemy. And not everybody who comes from let's say a colorful past or whatever, they succeed. No, the majority of people don't, because and that's also something, never glorify that. The reason I did come from a colorful background, and the thing is, yes, I'm one of those, but I also know a lot of other people who did not. They actually ended up in jail, addicted, and a lot of other normal people stuff, but they went all overboard with it, and you know, that never ends well. And the thing is, sometimes also when I speak about so-called mental diseases, see, I know people with real ones and they end up in jail and they never speak about it, because people who do have those things, they prefer to hide it. Never underestimate people who come to you and they say, yeah, I'm an autistic person. You know what? That is very quickly cured. Put a gun on their head and ask them to act normal. That sounds very brutal and black and white, Dalla. Yeah, but it's very easy to act like a retard when everything is comfortable. If you're on the street for, let's say, 7 days and you didn't eat, you're gonna tell people how retarded you are. And it sounds again very disrespectful, but this is reality. If you watch my videos, it is reality. I don't give a shit about your excuses or lies, especially lies, because that means you have a whole fabricated aura around you, and you probably, when you look in the mirror, you don't even know who you are. So how can you actually expect that other people think that they even would accept you as an individual? They cannot, because nobody knows who is you, and you don't even know. So that's why I'm very against people, or I keep them away from me. I'm not against, because I'm never judgmental, but I am very careful with people who I let into my physical space. That is very, very something, let's say, holy to me now at the moment, at this point in my life at 47. Before I was not like this, but I simply lost a lot of time. And also when I speak like this, I also used to speak to people, you know, normal business people, you know, start collecting leads, blah blah blah, have a talk for 3-4 hours for free, and then they start doing it. 1% of the people that I talked with wasted 3-4 hours on them, and then actually when they start doing it, they start still using it like a traditional way. They start just sending out brochures, like the people who actually go you know, on the mailbox and throw in those brochures of the supermarkets. Traditional thinkers are traditional thinkers. Are you one of those people who is willing to think outside the box? But not only this, thinking is all great, but also acts outside the box. Then contact me if you want, because thinking outside the box is all fun. Acting outside the box requires balls, and I like to talk with people who have balls, because along the way, and you actually really act outside the box and actually perform outside the box, you will run in adversities that normal people simply cannot handle, mentally and physically. That's why I always have one requirement: people need to put in a daily disciplines, or at least 3-4 times a week disciplines, because those are the kind of people who are actually always respond. From the people that I know here in Bulgaria, the people who don't have disciplines, let's say normal amounts, 3-4 times a week, they respond always. People who don't put in the disciplines, they always have excuses. Their wives, their children, the normal people things. So, and when it's about this, I know people with more than 8 children, and this person is always responding. So in case you say, yeah, but Dylan, you don't have children, you don't know anything about it. Trust me, I speak with a lot of people with children, not only with children, I also speak with the children themselves, because I'm always more than in awe of the curiosity that a lot of children still do have. And then I look at in their eyes, and for some I do know they're gonna lose it fast, because they, you know, show already characteristics that are very dangerous. And I think when it's about danger, it's about they're gonna lose the spirit, and they are made to be, now yeah, let's say it in the most respectful way, to put in a 9-to-5 rat race. and yeah, it's already in it from a very young age, you can see it. But the ones who are curious and actually more energetic, those are the children that are actually deserve more attention, but not only attention, also guidance, especially the ones with higher level of energy. And then I need to giggle a little bit because yeah, when they, let's say, discovered that I had a little bit more energy when I was young, they put me for a couple of weeks outside the home, and over there things were a little bit more Spartan. You know, we had to fight to keep our pillow on the bed, and at daytime we had to fight to keep the food on our plate. But of course I'm very grateful for those lessons, because they taught me one thing: life doesn't give a shit. We just do it, because if you don't keep your pillow, you sleep very uncomfortable. And not only this, another thing that I learned from this, because another guy who actually worked over there, and he was an adult guy, and the moment that he could speak to me alone, he said, you have to stop being colored because it's very irritating. So but that is a very, at that time of course I was a little bit confused, but the thing is, the most beautiful lesson of this is, give people some sort of authority and they're gonna abuse it, and the majority of people will. So that means, let's say the normal people, a 9-to-5er, you will give him the amount of freedom that I would have. What's gonna happen? Netflix and drinking probably, or go totally willy-nilly every day, I don't know, party. Freedom needs to be earned, not given all of a sudden. And that's why also the lottery winners, they go also very quickly broke, because mentally they're broke. When it's about myself, I lost everything at 30 because I was ambitious as hell, without boundaries, also not setting the boundaries towards other people, so I lost everything. So my ambition was higher than my talent, so I was similar, you know, giving, let's say, the ambition, but not the talent of managing people, judging people, keeping people away. And that's why I talk in my vlogs like this. So my vlog format, structure, I just judged it on the numbers. Portrait mode, live streaming will be increased. Live streaming, landscaping in landscape mode like this also increased, because that's 4 times the normal views on the vlogs that I'm editing. So I'm cutting down, actually stopping the normal vlogs. That will save me time on editing also, which is already very minimalistic, but now I'm getting rid of it. So I'm increasing the speed of everything. I can operate faster. So as you can see, by sharing this, I'm telling you how I'm judging work structures, and also increasing my workflow based on real life numbers, because I'm looking at the views, and I'm also calculating ratios. And I'm not getting into this because then it would sound like clickbait, and because I'd never mention anybody's name in my vlogs, for one reason: I don't want that people after a few years say, yeah, but he was constantly using their names, blah blah blah, to get, you know, clicked upon. No, I don't. That's why I'm always describing, let's say, famous people that I would like to quote, and or, you know, when I speak about their vlogs, it's more or less, and I'm mentioning them features and then and characteristics, then you will know who I talk about, but I will never use their names, simply out of respect, and also again not to write on somebody else's name. You know, you got those people, then they take a little news thing and they say, oh yeah, this guy is now cheating on his wife. Yeah, that is all fun, but where is the value? I know people like to watch entertainment and like disaster and, you know, crying people, breakups. I do understand that part, but the real value of those audiences, I think they belong somewhere else. Because on the long term, if you put in the work to make every day those videos, yeah, you can make deals, of course, with companies and blah blah blah, but are you selling your soul, or are you really you? And in my vlogs, everything is raw, real, and gets only realer, because now that I'm gonna skip my vlogging, and those are the videos that you upload, the long form ones, I'm skipping them. The only thing that I will increase now is the live streaming in portrait mode, perhaps 1 or 2 times per day, landscape mode, live streaming, and of course the shorts clips from live streams, but probably also training videos. And again, we're in Rakowski Stadium and the weather is better than yesterday. It is actually fantastic, and surprisingly no people, but it's good. I like it. Ahead of the herd, feels good. Ahead of the herd. You know, this feeling that I have is not to be superior. It's about that I know that I'm the right path. You know, if negativity comes your way, you have to see it as something you're on the right way. If nothing happens very positive and or negative in your life, you're just living a mediocre life. And a lot of people, and because I spoke a few days ago with somebody, this person said, actually it was a couple of weeks ago already, this person said, yeah, but a lot of things happen to me. I said, only the strong get constantly tested. The weak, maybe once in a while, maybe you break up a dead grandma, but the thing is, the strong get constantly tested. And the moment you start embracing those challenges, the guy will give you only better rewards in the long run. I'm living a life of freedom. Did it fall in my lap the moment that I dropped out of my mama's beep? No. From the beginning that I could breathe, there were challenges. And thanks to the people who adopted me, I am still able to breathe like a maniac at 47. And every single day, more and more, because I'm fulfilling a purpose. That's what I'm doing. I'm serving people the possibility of doing everything from the phone and claiming their freedom and find themselves. Because it takes 1,000 lifetimes to find yourself. And if you got only one lifetime, you understand what I mean. What I also said this morning in one of the live streams, we're never good enough. There's always somebody's better. But the only thing that you can do is be better than yesterday. Better than the version of yourself yesterday, that you were yesterday. That's the only thing. But be very compliant with the fact and in peace with the fact that you're never good enough. Just say it up loud. I'm never good enough, but every day I put in the work. Every single day. Every single day. And if not, then I'm just part of the herd. Because the majority of people just sit back and relax. That is all fun, but then also don't complain. You got a little bit extra hanging around your hips, don't complain. If you're part of the herd, you need that extra fat to survive the winter. Perhaps to sit somewhere in the dark corners, cry about life. Anyway, just observe yourself. Be very judgmental. See where you can improve. And I'm showing you a lot of stuff. And not only this, on the YouTube, if you go to my channel thing, you find a tab courses, and probably it's not available yet because I didn't upload any videos over there. I will start adding videos over there, and it's work structures, not strategies that hype you up. It's structures. Day 1, day 2, day 3. They're just guidelines. Let me also make this clear. Guidelines. Because guidelines just show you the way, like street signs. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not preaching what to do. If you want a better life, or a life that also makes you feel fulfilled, that you're not that, let's say when you reach my age, that you sit with let's say it like this, with a spouse on the couch, and you think, no, the moment that I can cheat with somebody, I will. The majority of people will. I know. I definitely know, because there are multiple people that came to this country, and I know that they had spouses and wives of children, and they instantly asked for some adult entertainment. And then I always think, if you're willing to cheat on your spouse and then lie to your children, what are you gonna do to me? So obviously those relationships end ASAP, because people who are for sale are not loyal to anybody, not even to themselves. I know some people you can categorize, they will sell their soul for 10 grand. I know, I have seen it, I have experienced it. Some people have a little bit a higher price. Their soul is for sale for around 40-50,000. I've seen it, and I even warned the guy before, and then actually, because I was too dumb or good-hearted or a quote-unquote good guy, and I still financed the idiot. Yeah, but I'm the idiot. I'm not blaming him. I don't have any emotion, negative emotion to those people, but I'm sharing those experiences. And because not only this, it qualifies me to speak like this. But what is true about it, Dollar? Now, yeah, well, see, the thing is, the amount of videos that are out there, I think they speak for themselves. If I would be an actor uploading every day the way I speak, the things that I'm showing you, if I would be an actor, would I be in the cold snow in the calisthenics? Would be in a boiling hot sun in the calisthenics? Those are disciplines. You cannot fake this. Yeah, but we don't see every day what you're doing. I'm explaining you what I'm doing, but the thing is, I don't think that would be anyways good content. But this is also bullshit content. This is reality though. Yeah, I know. But what I always say, I could be sitting in a swimming pool in Malta, because I lived in Malta, and then show you every single day drinking that I drink a cocktail, open an Apple laptop, and show you that I'm trading, and then all of a sudden you want to start trading. I don't think that is the way. At least I want to die as real as possible. So I see everything what I'm saying on these videos. When I dive into the grave or get burned in the fucking oven, or maybe I die very horrible, people chop me up, well, that's so be it. But the thing is, these videos are still alive. So no matter if you planning to chop me up, these videos will be alive, and then people will judge me on the way I speak. And that's why I say the things as raw and real as possible. I'm not glorifying anything. Look, this is beautiful. This is where you train your ass off, you sweat. Over here I actually recorded the 13 step 1 minute exercise thing, which I developed over a few years, which now can be executed by people who actually want to get in shape and still want to watch television. Save you money, saves you a lot of stuff. Also, you don't start jumping around with special trending courses that you can buy for I don't know what, $49.99. I give everything away for free, you know, because yeah, those multimillionaires, they need your $47. Yeah, but Alan, if you do this, that's how you know, earn more money. Yeah, of course, but they use also the same screenshots to show you that they make that amount of money with the strategies that they're using in general. Not, I'm not gonna talk about it, but there's one forum, it's full with those loopholes. If you start jumping from loophole to loophole, been there, done that. It's only a temporarily plaster on the wounds. You don't want temporarily thing. The strategies that I'm using are evergreen, uncapped, tested in multiple countries. They are human friendly. Nobody loses. The only person who loses is simply who stops. You stop, you lose. Very simple. And the more people that stop, the better. Less competition. The more people who take days off, better. Less competition. The people who like to watch television instead of increasing their knowledge, good. Less competition. And I also said in one thing, for the young people, you're 18, I always say you're way too late. Get up. Try to serve your value, and there will be so much rewards, indirect and direct, towards you. But there's always another side of the coin. Adversity will come your way, and that's why I speak like this. Look at this. This is beautiful, right? Steel, concrete, rubber, and everything that is guaranteed painful, but resembles growth and real life. Anyway, my vlogging journey is going to adapt to the numbers. Live streaming in portrait mode, live streaming like this in landscape mode, and I'm gonna start adding short courses what actually are working structures, and then you can slowly set yourself free. And I would love to increase, let's say, the amount of normal people who set their lives free from slavery using that thing in their hands what they addicted to. But now we turn your addiction, or you would have the opportunity to turn your addiction phone into a living without putting yourself on the camera. The people who are willing to go a little bit more overboard, you know, start speaking, you tenfold obviously your income. But yeah, that is another story. That's also not necessary. It's also not necessary to upload hundreds and hundreds of videos, what I'm planning to do every single year until the day I die. When are you planning to die though? No, what I said this morning, you know, I'm planning to be around 100, and if I would fail, then it's anyway done deal, and better for everybody, because all my stuff will be publicly available. That's over 2.1 terabyte Google Drive, which is actually one big AI chat, so you have access to more strategies, and you can actually speak to me through chat even when I'm dead. So that's why another reason that I speak like this. These videos are my legacy. So people who, let's assume that I'm already 100 years dead, you know, then all of a sudden you become famous. Just saying, I'm not assuming anything, because I'm not thinking that I'm all this and that. No, I'm just sharing my experiences, and I'm sharing the things that set me free from any kind of connection to local things, so nobody can actually take away my business ever again. Nobody else can touch it. Nobody. Okay, with nobody, okay, you can deal with very extreme people, but yeah, that is always there. Okay, then 99.99%. So let's compare it with normal business people, self-employment. You know, you get an office, you get a suit, you lease a car or whatever, how you do it. Most people need to fabricate some kind of loans, so they anyways already become slave from somebody else. And then of course they need to lick people their ass, and of course build a reputation of, you know, pretending to be the best person on the planet. Me, I'm not pretending to be the best person on the planet. I walk around half naked on the calisthenics spots, and also when I make important deals, I'm just sitting in my sweatpants in front of my phone, because I'm doing everything from the phone. But just sharing, everything is real, raw. I'm not fancying up everything with filters and, you know, that kind of stuff. If I sometimes incredibly hangover, who cares? If I'm sometimes, maybe at the end I'm gonna do a live stream from my dying bed. How fun would that be? And then it's the last vlog, no live stream. And this is the beautiful thing, now that I simply optimize my my video recording strategy, which is actually you know, I'm getting rid of the editing part, which was already very minimalistic. But now we say ciao ciao and goodbye bye to my daily vlogs, because this landscape live streaming has 4 times the amount of view of the normal vlogs, which is obviously a numbers deal. Get rid of it, done deal. Saves me from editing, saves me a lot of time, which I can use to increase my amount of automating scenarios. And those at the moment I do have over 100 scenarios, and I will give away all the scenarios. You can actually start for free, and the plan that I'm using on make.com is $10 a month. $10 a month? Yeah, I tested it, and I tested tons and tons of applications. Anyway, not getting into strategies, just shared you a little bit about my vlogging journey, and that's it. Now I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna pee in the bushes. That's part of the job. And then do the calisthenics thing, a lot of legs. And of course the daily regime. The daily regime is always 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, I don't know. And then backwards. So, and then always that includes deep dips plus knee raises. Deep dips. Not the normal dips where people just tuk. That is all fun. I'm always focusing on the fact on a better outcome of each single rep, right? Every single day, 365 days per year. Why that? Well, simply mental. For me, it's all mental. See, the thing is, for some people, the regime that I have, deep dips with knee raises, pull up with knee raises, high, not like high, plus knee raises and knee raises hanging, or with the arms crossed over the parallel bars, depending on the amount of pain in a specific area. Can be today my legs are pretty exhausted, but the thing is, who cares? So I do a little bit forward lunges instead of very high step up leg exercises, and I will do a lot of toes to bar, and a lot of, maybe I will record some short, you know, ab busters. You crush your fucking abs, make them burn every single day. Abs, there's not one single day I don't do abs. Every single day. Anyway, not bragging over here, just sharing. Let's walk together a little bit to the calisthenics part, right? So, like I always say, this is like, for me, family. See, the thing is, and my adoption parent died a long time ago, so this is my resort, not this specific calisthenics spot. Every calisthenics spot I feel home, to get in balance. Not that I'm out of balance, but you know, and even, you know, let's say it like this: when you feel on top of the world, it humbles you. When you don't feel good, it makes you feel good, proud of yourself, feel filled. This is family for me. Hi, dips bar. Hi, all kind of nice stuff. Hi, nice tires. I love it. I'm really obsessed with this. Yeah, I am. This is maybe once per year, maybe once per, no, yeah, let's say, and when I'm honest about it, maybe 1 or 2 times per year. I have moments, of course, I'm still a human. You know, sometimes I think, yeah, Dylan, what are you doing? And go over here, and then I balance out. This is the place for peace. Look at this, the mountain. Vitisha mountain is always over there. For now, never say always, but of course probably Vitisha mountain will outlives us. Maybe I cannot look into the future. We only live today, right now. Everything has to be done now, not yesterday, because it's already done, so you already had to do it. And that is another thing, I never skip a day, because I cannot say, let's assume that I would skip yesterday's, and I would skip yesterday's exercise thing, the regime, and I would think about it. I missed a day of mental growth. Yeah, but nobody can see mental growth. True. But the moment that you would sit and realize with me, you understand that I don't mess around. And that is character building. And again, this is not to brag, but I want something for everybody on this planet. Even if you start doing a small thing every single day. A small thing, how small should it be, though? Now I'm going to tell you exactly how small it can be. You can give a compliment every single day. And no, I'm not talking like those motivational speakers who talk to a lot of other people who cannot motivate themselves. I'm just telling you a little bit of direction that you can go into. Just do it once per week, because you are not used to it. And at one point you do it every single place where you're coming. Makes you feel good. Do it for selfish reasons. So that's the most easy way to start living a little bit more a valuable life. You spread your positivity a little bit, maybe not as genuine as you would after 365 days, but you need to start somewhere. And like always, start embracing the fact that you're never good enough. Never. And if your spouse says, yeah, I don't mind that you get a beer belly. Be very careful to actually accept that kind of, I don't want to say encouragement, but that kind of statements, because she is happy that she can also start. Let it go, let it go. Let's start hanging it around the hips. Let's grow those love handles together, baby. Let's grow them together. And the moment that we get married, I am going to bang a lot of strippers. So don't believe those statements. Just my advice: every day reset, put in the work, appreciation, gratitude, and put in the work. Punish yourself, so you cannot focus on your self-inflicted mental diseases. And again, I'm saying this from in the most encouraging way possible. I have sat down in cars. People sat down in my car with real mental diseases. At one point, I cannot say too much about it, but you know, people with real mental diseases are scary. And not only this, because I also spend time with them for a longer amount of time, I feel for them, I felt for them, and yeah, they ended up in bad situations. So besides that, also people with real mental things, they will never talk about it. Now of course, and at one point maybe they want to hang themselves, but with all the respect, when it's about this, and when I say things as cruel as possible, because I know I'm gonna tell you one thing, and then I'll close this vlog. My adoption father, he tried to kill himself, and actually when we visited him in the hospital, he actually blamed me for something, and that then was part of the deal. So just to let you know, I know how it feels to be maybe somehow indirectly getting blamed for something that you obviously cannot be blamed for, because everybody who harms themselves is, of course, the guilty one, in my opinion. But of course there are different situations, and there's also one thing, maybe I end this live stream a little bit harsh, but I've been in places together that I spent with children who were really messed up by very bad adults, and those things are real. And those people, when I meet them or still talk with them, with one or two on the video call, because I'm always interested in people, especially people who really struggling, not the fake ones, you know, the people who are need a little bit liquor and as they start crying about exes and that kind of stuff. But you know, just move forward, no matter what. As long as we can breathe, do something with it, with the air, do something with your muscles. If you don't have muscles, doesn't matter, just keep on breathing, but try to focus on the good stuff and not dwell in the past. Yeah, but Alan, you talk a lot about some of your experiences. Now the thing is, the reason is simply that I'm telling those things to qualify myself, that I can speak like this. And of course, I'm never mentioning names, but the fact that I now mention and that my adoption father did this is simply to put extra reality on top. Is that for disrespecting him? No, because I'm more than grateful to be alive at 47, because they picked me up. And I'm saying that again, they put a roof above my head, they fed me, and they gave me the lessons, the good lessons, the reality lessons. So I'm more than grateful for that. And I live by those, also the days that I never had anything. I was sitting on a bench, wind was coming up, lights going out, and people going home, and I was homeless. Who gives a shit? And I thought, one thing what I'm not gonna do is giving up, because if they would look down from wherever they are, I don't believe in heaven and hell, so I'm not gonna say this. So if they would look down, or the energy of them would be somewhere around me, then I won't disappoint them. As long as I'm alive, it's gonna be a wild ride. Of course, the wild ride is a little bit less wild, but once in a while, trust me, when I start opening up the floodgates. Anyway, we're not getting into this. We're gonna get into work